What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. Today we are talking about Dragon Pharma's Venom pre-workout. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so before we get into it, I'm just going to kind of mention that samples currently are still down. Stay tuned to the Instagram at VW Fitness or sign up for the newsletter on the website. Stay tuned for the launch of samples and shaker bottles, because currently I'm actually in Los Angeles. I'm not here. But wait, I actually am here because we're actually pre-shooting this review for your guys' enjoyment. So we had to make sure we got this done before we took off for work. And yeah, lots to talk about in today's review, guys. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, we break down the supplement review into 4 different parts. We're going to talk about number 1, price; 2, the label ingredient breakdown; thirdly, we'll talk about that taste; last up, we'll talk about the effects. So let's jump right into it, guys. Price: this comes in at $39.99 right off of naturalbodyinc.com. Okay, I've talked a lot about Natural Body. It is my go-to source for pretty much any supplement that I can't get. If I can't have the company send it to me, if they never get back to me, that's where I go and I personally buy my products. I think they are completely unbiased. I think they have a lot of honest, great information to put out there for a lot of consumers. And I really appreciate everything that they do. Now, I'm not endorsed, sponsored. This product was not sent to me for free with Natural Body or Dragon Pharma, okay? Personally, I didn't even reach out to Dragon Pharma. I just saw this product on an order, I think about a month ago, and I was like, you know what, I'll just add it in. It looks cool. I really like what's in the label, which we'll get into. But yeah, with that price point, guys, this is a 40-20 kind of split. You could do 1 scoop or the small scoop for 40 servings. Really, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about the large scoop. 20 full servings here, guys. Like I said, $39.99. That's going to come in at $2 a serving. On the consistent pricing scale, it is going to come in at a 4 out of 10. Now, again, price is very subjective. I know, you know, once we switch to a 1 to 10 scale, things seem a little bit lower than usual. And trust me, I've noticed it as well. But I've broken it down to the penny as to where things should be, from the most expensive pre-workouts that I've talked about to the least expensive pre-workouts. And that's just where things fall. So, you know, 4 out of 10 in terms of the price. Let's get into that label and the ingredient breakdown, guys. Boom, pop that up here now. We start out with, like I said, an 8.2 gram scoop. And you might be thinking to yourself, like, that's not very much, Vince. Like, usually you're talking like 15, 16, 17 gram scoops. And yeah, you're right. When I first saw this, I was like, 8.2, this sounds like a, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a C4. Let's be honest, the original. Right around, I think it was about 8 grams. I will start out and say that this label is fully disclosed, fully transparent, and everything in here, well, let's get into it. We start out with 3.2 grams of beta-alanine, clinical efficacious dose. It's going to give you those beta tingles. It's responsible for potentially buffering lactic acid buildup within the body. Obviously, after taking this for a long duration of time, in terms of beta-alanine, that's what it's going to do. So there's a lot of great benefits. That's why you kind of see beta-alanine. Beta-alanine is also kind of a great indicator of when a pre-workout is kicking in. That's how a lot of people like to think about it. That's how I personally started. When I first started taking pre-workouts, it was like that beta tingle. Some people love it, some people don't. If you don't, then maybe potentially stay away from this product. If you like those beta tingles, 3.2 efficacious dose. Moving right along, we have 30 milligrams of the Calorie Burn Grains of Paradise trademarked ingredient. Now, this is kind of a new one per se. We've heard of Grains of Paradise before. It's going to help with fat burning. And to be honest with you, Calorie Burn has been out, but I have not seen it in any other pre-workout yet. Okay, and the reason I say that is because I know Alpha Line just released their Gains Candy, which is basically a pill form of Calorie Burn, as well as some other products. And I think this is a really interesting, unique ingredient here. Okay, 30 milligrams is on the lower side, but I'm super stoked to see that in here. It's gonna help with, again, we could all use a little bit less fat, so always good to see that. Moving right along, we move into 1.5 grams of the nitrosamine, and this is gonna help with the pumps, guys. This is an efficacious dose. There are studies out there, guys, that potentially show that nitrosamine can actually increase vasodilation more than a citrulline malate. That's kind of what one study has shown. So going to help with those pumps, vasodilation. We love seeing that. Next up, we have 50 milligrams of the S7 antioxidant blend. This is a trademarked ingredient. Basically going to help with the pumps. This is a good amount. I personally like S7. I know there's some people out there that think it's garbage, doesn't do anything for them. I personally think it does work. I have taken S7 on its own and then done a pre-workout and had better pumps with the S7 than without, but that's my personal experience. So I like seeing that in here. Moving right along, we move into the volatile energy and focus matrix, okay? 500 milligrams of L-tyrosine. It's a nootropic ingredient, gonna help with the focus again. And then 400 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous, guys. Good amount of caffeine. If you guys are caffeine stim junkies, this is definitely on the higher end. Obviously, I like to see at least around 300. We're getting 400 here, which is great. Plus, we have 100 milligrams of the dynamine, okay, which is another trademarked ingredient. So a lot of trademarked ingredients in here, which is awesome, guys. That's responsible for energy, really clean, smooth energy is what it's going to do. Sometimes with caffeine, you can kind of get that spike and then just really drop right off. With dynamine, studies have shown that, you know, it's a very nice, smooth, natural energy, and 100 milligrams is a good amount. Obviously, not on the super high side. I've seen this upwards of 300-400 milligrams, but 100 milligrams is a good amount. 100 milligrams of L-theanine, this is gonna, again, kind of smoothen everything out. Some people are totally against it. Some people really like it. I personally think 100 milligrams is kind of right in that sweet spot. Anything more than that, and I'm like, you know, we just talked about a pre-workout last week, guys. I had 350, I believe, or 300 milligrams of L-theanine, and it really didn't actually bother me. Pretty interesting. So check that review out. But 100 milligrams, I think, is a good amount. I think it does help with buffering some of the like, you know, sharp drop off of stimulants. So I do like seeing that in here. And then we got 3 milligrams of the Yohimbe HCl, guys. Fat burning energy ingredient, can potentially have some adverse side effects for some people. We'll get into that when we talk about the effects here, but this is a good amount. 3 milligrams is solid. And then we end the label with 50 micrograms of huperzine A, kind of a standard dose, another nootropic focus ingredient, can help focus through the workout. So overall, guys, this label is actually stacked, in my personal opinion. I think you're getting a good amount of caffeine. You're getting really some good pump ingredients, but with the S7 and the nitrosamine. I think the calorie burn is really cool. That's a unique kind of ingredient to put in a pre-workout, which is awesome. I think it's very balanced, but it's also like efficaciously dosed, which is crazy because it's only 8.2 grams, which is really small. So personally for me, I think this fits kind of everything that I would be looking for in a pre-workout. With that, guys, I am gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and it's gonna kind of miss a point here because I think they could push the calorie burn a little bit higher. Again, some people are not really looking for the fat burner / pre-workout, and I get that. And you're not getting like a bunch of the calorie burn grains of paradise here, but I think you are getting a good amount. And I personally wish that there was a little bit more, but I mean, you know, if we're gonna talk about that and docking it a whole point, pretty much every other pre-workout I've rated would have to drop a whole point. So, I mean, could it use some other things? Yeah, not a lot. Honestly, there's not a lot that's missing here. So 9 out of 10 in terms of the label. All right, guys, let's move right into that taste section. We have the Dragon Venom Tropical Fruit Punch here. Obviously unopened here, as you guys can see. And yeah, let's get going. Now, this does recommend 8 to 10 ounces if you do 1 small scoop. We are obviously going to do the large scoop. So it doesn't exactly tell us how much water to use, but I'm going to use 12 ounces in today's review. All right, 1 large scoop here. As you guys can see, we have the small and the large, and we'll give this a nice good shake. All right, and in terms of mixability, a little bit of foam on the top, nothing too crazy here, and little to no sediment on the bottom. And that foaming, as you guys can see, is just disappearing pretty quick, so that's nice. Now let's give it the old taste test. Cheers. Okay, it's pretty sweet. I'll start off there. You guys probably see it in my facial expressions. I think, honestly, it tastes just like tropical Skittles. Very similar to that sort of taste profile. There's a slight little bite on the back end. Overall, it's really smooth. Like I said, there's just like kind of this spice, kind of the spiciness on the back end, like very, very light. By no means is this spicy, trust me. It's not even like a mild hot sauce kind of spicy. It just kind of has that little bit of a bite on the back end there, but overall, it tastes like tropical Skittles to me. So in terms of the taste rating, I'm gonna give this like a, it has this kind of guava taste to it as well. Like I said, that tropical kind of flavoring. I'm gonna verge on like, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's really, really solid. I was kind of verging between an 8 and a 9. I would say like an 8.75, so we'll just round up to a 9 here. I think overall it tastes really, really good. It's very enjoyable. The mixability is really nice. I don't taste anything really like negative about it. The spice is kind of nice. It kind of breaks up that sweetness that most pre-workouts kind of have. So anyway, guys, we're going to run this for a few days. We're going to head off to the gym. We'll come back. We'll talk about the effects after a couple days of running this, and we'll see you guys here soon. Cheers. All right, guys, so, you know, let's talk about the effects. I ran this for 3 days, and we obviously hit a push-pull leg split, and I'm just going to start off by saying the first few days, I definitely felt the beta tingles. I did have some of the alpha yo, like cold sweats, kind of that a little bit, not nauseous feeling, but just kind of that whoo before I'd even gotten working out. Focus, I think, is good. You know, there's not a lot of like nootropic ingredients in here. There's a few. I felt the energy more than anything, but it was never this big like spike of energy. With 400 milligrams of caffeine, I thought that there might be a little bit more. It didn't keep me awake like a really long time kind of thing. Like, you know, if you take this super late in the day, obviously I'd be really mindful of that and be careful with that. But I felt like the pumps were really solid. The energy is like solid. It's not like a super stim kind of feeling. And then the focus was decent. I'll be honest, like today's workout was not the best. It was a big push day today, and I literally like just wasn't feeling it. But yesterday's leg day was actually massive, and it felt great. I ended up doing like, I think almost an hour of cardio after the workout, and it was just like, let's go. I'm ready to roll. So in terms of the effects, guys, I'm gonna give this like an 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely a solid pre-workout. I think it's a little bit different than what most people are kind of thinking, because I mean 8.2 grams is not a lot. You're used to getting like your citrulline, your betaine anhydrous, kind of your standard ingredients. This is different. Okay, this is very, very different in terms of what's in it and how it's dosed, and I kind of like that. It's not, you know, it's not your run-of-the-mill pre-workout that, you know, you can go find with any brand. And I think that's one of the things I kind of wanted to highlight with Natural Body, is that like literally, obviously there's a lot of great supplement companies, but what's going to set yourself apart from all the other supplement companies, if you're doing the same thing? We all know the efficacious doses of ingredients. So I think like something like this, where it's different and it is efficaciously dosed, I think this is a really cool product, guys. I think you should definitely check it out. Once samples come back, I will be sampling and sending this one out. I think it's a solid pre-workout. Again, I think the highlight is definitely number 1, energy, 2, pumps, and then lastly, that focus. I just didn't really feel a ton of that today, so I kind of have to dock it. The first couple days were solid, but I think it was more like energy and pumps that was making me just like, yeah, let's go. So overall, guys, 8 out of 10 in terms of the effects, and stay tuned again to pick up a sample of this, because I know it's going to go quick. I think it's going to go quick. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the Alpha Lion Superhuman Supreme went like within 5 days, it was gone. So stay tuned to the Instagram. Like I said, guys, stay tuned to the website. Sign up for the newsletter. I will send out an email kind of info on the samples and when we are back in town to be able to do those. So stay tuned. But I'm super stoked, guys, to continue bringing you guys more reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.